First contact and mockery. Admiral Sarah Chen stood at the bridge of the ESS Pathfinder, Earth's most advanced starship, as it emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Proxima Centauri system. The year was 2185, and humanity had finally mastered faster-than-light travel after decades of research and countless failed attempts. What should have been a moment of triumph was about to become a harsh lesson in galactic politics. Unknown vessels approaching, Admiral. Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, his fingers dancing across the holographic display. Their energy signatures are massive, nothing like we've ever seen before. 3 ships materialized before them, their hulls gleaming with an iridescent material that seemed to shift colors in the starlight. They dwarfed the Pathfinder, making Earth's pride and joy look like a tugboat beside ocean liners. Open communications on all frequencies, Chen ordered, straightening her uniform. This was humanity's first contact with alien civilization, and she was determined to make it count. A holographic figure materialized on the bridge. A tall, ethereal being with crystalline features and flowing robes that seemed to capture the very essence of starlight. I am High Commander Zixtal of the Galactic Confederation. You have entered regulated space without proper authorization. Chen stepped forward, her voice steady despite her racing heart. I am Admiral Sarah Chen of Earth's Space Service. We come in peace and friendship, seeking to join the galactic community. A sound like tinkling crystal filled the bridge. Zixtal was laughing. Earth. Ah yes, that primitive world at the edge of the Orion Arm. We've been observing your development. Tell me, how long has your species mastered faster-than-light travel? 3 years, Chen replied proudly. Our scientists have made remarkable progress. 3 years. Zixtal interrupted, their crystalline features shifting to what seemed like amusement. The youngest spacefaring race in the Confederation has been traveling between stars for at least 2 centuries. Most have been doing so for millennia. The dismissive tone made Chen's jaw clench, but she maintained her diplomatic composure. Every species must start somewhere, High Commander. We're eager to learn and contribute to the galactic community. Learn? Yes, you have much to learn. Zixtal's form shimmed with what might have been condescension. The Confederation has protocols for dealing with emerging civilizations. You will be assigned observers and mentors. Your expansion will be strictly regulated to prevent accidents. With all due respect, Chen countered, Earth is a sovereign nation. We're willing to follow reasonable safety protocols, but we won't accept arbitrary restrictions on our development. The crystalline laughter returned, harder this time. You misunderstand, Admiral. This is not a negotiation. The Confederation maintains order in this galaxy. Species as young as yours require guidance. Firm guidance, to prevent them from harming themselves or others. As Chen listened to the litany of restrictions being laid out, limited colonial rights, supervised technological development, restricted access to advanced trading networks, she felt a familiar fire building in her chest. It was the same determination that had driven humanity to split the atom, reach the moon, and now the stars. We will convey your terms to Earth's government, she said carefully, already composing her real report in her mind. Earth would need to know exactly what they were dealing with, and what they would need to overcome. As the Pathfinder began its journey home, Chen sat in her quarters, recording her personal log. First contact day. Humanity has discovered we're not alone in the universe. We've also discovered that the universe has a pecking order, and we're at the bottom. They think we're children playing with technologies we barely understand. They expect us to know our place and stay there. She paused, a slight smile crossing her face. They don't know humanity very well, do they? We've never been good at staying in our assigned place, and if they think we'll accept their patronizing oversight without question, she chuckled. Well, they have a lot to learn about humans. Back on Earth, in a classified facility deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. James Wong watched the incoming transmission from the Pathfinder with growing concern. But unlike many who saw humanity's position as hopeless, he saw opportunity. The aliens' arrogance would be their weakness. They wouldn't be watching too closely for advancement in fields they considered beyond humanity's grasp. "Begin Project Quantum," he whispered to his assistant. "It's time to show the galaxy what humanity can really do." Project Quantum. 6 months after first contact, Dr. James Wong stood in the heart of Project Quantum's underground facility, watching as another prototype vanished in a flash of blue light. The air crackled with residual energy as the small probe reappeared precisely 1 kilometer away, exactly as planned. It was their 7th successful test this week. Energy consumption down another 12%, Dr. Maya Patel announced from her monitoring station, her dark eyes bright with excitement. "The quantum field is stabilizing faster than ever. James, I think we've finally cracked it." Wong nodded, but kept his celebration in check. Outside this facility, humanity was struggling with the Confederation's restrictions. Every week brought new regulations, new oversight committees, new barriers to expansion. The Confederation's observers watched Earth's official research facilities like hawks, ensuring humanity didn't advance too quickly for their own good. But they weren't watching everywhere. Status report from the orbital facility. Lieutenant Sarah Martinez said, handing Wong a secured tablet. "The Kingston managed to analyze one of the Confederation patrol ships during their last routine inspection. Their FTL drive uses exactly the principles we predicted, which means they'll never see our quantum tunneling coming." Wong allowed himself a small smile. The Confederation's superiority in conventional faster-than-light travel had made them blind to alternative approaches. While they had perfected manipulation of space-time through brute force, Project Quantum took a completely different approach, exploiting quantum entanglement on a massive scale. "Dr. Wong," a voice called from across the lab. "You need to see this." Dr. Viktor Petrov, their theoretical physics lead, was staring at a simulation with a mix of awe and concern. "We've been thinking too small." The assembled team gathered around Petrov's station as he explained. "We've been focused on moving ships from point A to point B. But look what happens when we alter the quantum field configuration." The simulation showed a cascade effect, a ripple in space-time that expanded exponentially. "Is that what I think it is?" Maya whispered. Wong nodded slowly. "A quantum wake. We could theoretically create a field large enough to move an entire fleet simultaneously." His mind raced with the implications. Not just military vessels, colony ships, cargo transports, everything. "The power requirements would be astronomical," Martins pointed out. "Yes," Wong agreed, "but we might have a solution for that too." He brought up another file on his tablet, showing the results of their research into Confederation technology. Their power generation systems are incredibly efficient, and thanks to their inspections, we now know exactly how they work. The next few months were a blur of activity. While Earth's official representatives attended Confederation meetings and endured countless lectures about their species' immaturity, Project Quantum made breakthrough after breakthrough. They learned to mask their energy signatures, developed new materials to handle the quantum stresses, and began the painstaking process of secretly modifying key ships in Earth's fleet. But they weren't completely unnoticed. The Confederation's Science Council has requested another inspection of our FTL research facilities, Admiral Chen reported during their weekly secure briefing. "They're suspicious about why we've apparently made so little progress. Most emerging civilizations are constantly pestering them for technological assistance. We've been surprisingly quiet." "Let them look," Wong replied confidently. "All they'll find is exactly what they expect, a primitive species struggling with basic hyperspace theory. Our quantum research leaves no trace they can detect. Their sensors aren't even designed to look for it." "How much longer?" Chen asked, her expression serious. "The political situation is deteriorating. The Confederation is pushing for even more oversight, and some members are calling for direct intervention in our governance. They claim we're developing too independently and need to be properly integrated into their power structure." Wong walked to the chamber window, watching as another prototype underwent testing. 3 months to complete the modifications to our first wave of ships. 6 months to have a significant portion of the fleet ready. After that, he turned back to Chen, his eyes gleaming. After that, everything changes. But even as Project Quantum raced toward completion, storm clouds were gathering. The Confederation's patience with Earth's independence was wearing thin. Humanity would soon be forced to choose: submit to complete control by their self-appointed superiors, or reveal their hidden strength and face the consequences. In his private quarters that night, Wang reviewed the latest test data. The quantum wake effect was proving more promising than they dared hope. Soon, humanity would have the ability to move entire battle groups instantly across vast distances, without any of the limitations or detection signatures of conventional FTL travel. "They think we're children," he murmured, remembering that first dismissive contact. "They think we'll be content to sit quietly and learn at their feet for the next few centuries." He chuckled softly. "They're about to learn what happens when you back humans into a corner. We don't stay there. We quantum tunnel our way out." The breaking point. The Confederation Council chamber was a marvel of alien architecture, its crystalline spires reaching impossibly high into the purple sky of Centauri Prime. But Ambassador Diana Ross felt only cold dread as she walked down its sweeping corridors. The emergency session called by the Confederation's Security Council could mean only one thing: they had finally lost patience with Earth. "The evidence is irrefutable." High Commander Zixtal's voice resonated through the chamber. "The humans are actively concealing their research activities. They maintain unauthorized shipyards in asteroid belts. They conduct clandestine meetings with other emerging species." The crystalline being's form flickered with barely contained anger. "They refuse to accept their proper place in the galactic order." Ross stood at the podium, facing the assembled representatives of 1,000 worlds. Most viewed humanity with either contempt or pity, the troublesome children who refuse to behave. "These accusations are based on circumstantial evidence," she declared firmly. "Earth has complied with all official Confederation protocols." Official protocols are not enough. The representative of the Murith, a feline species known for their military might, rose from his seat. "We've seen this pattern before. Young species who think they can challenge the established order. It always ends in disaster, unless proper measures are taken early." Back on Earth, Admiral Chen watched the Council transmission with growing concern. The command center of the North American Defense Complex was silent except for the voices from light years away, deciding humanity's fate. "The Security Council proposes the following measures," Zixtal announced. "All human military vessels will be decommissioned. Confederation peacekeepers will be stationed in all major Earth cities. A governing council of senior species will assume oversight of all human technological development and colonial activities." The crystalline being's tone softened with false benevolence. "This is for your own protection, of course." Dr. Wang, standing beside Chen, clenched his fists. "Project Quantum is ready," he whispered. "The first wave of ships has been converted. We can act now." Chen shook her head slightly. "Not yet. Let's see how far they're willing to go." On the screen, Ross was fighting back. "Earth categorically rejects these proposals. We are a sovereign species. Your role was to guide us into the galactic community, not subjugate us." The chamber erupted in voices of outrage. "You see," the Murith representative snarled, "this defiance proves our point. They cannot be trusted with independence." "The time for debate is over," Zixtal declared. "The Security Council has made its decision. Implementation will begin immediately. Confederation fleets are already moving into position around Earth and its colonies. Resistance will not be tolerated." In the command center, warning signals began flashing. Multiple hyperspace signatures detected, Lieutenant Rodriguez reported. Confederation warships dropping out of FTL at all major strategic points. They're positioning to blockade Earth and all colonial systems simultaneously. Chen straightened her uniform. "How many ships?" Over 300 vessels detected so far, Admiral. More arriving every minute. Dr. Wong looked at the tactical display, his expression grim. They're not leaving anything to chance. That's enough firepower to overwhelm our conventional defenses 10 times over. On the screen, Ross made one final appeal. The people of Earth will not submit to military occupation. If you proceed with this action, you will leave us no choice but to defend ourselves. Laughter rippled through the chamber. The same dismissive sound they'd heard since first contact. Defend yourselves. Zixtal's tone was almost gentle. My dear ambassador, look at the tactical situation. Your entire species' combined military might couldn't hope to resist even a fraction of the forces we've deployed. Be reasonable. Accept the inevitable with dignity. Chen's communicator chirped, a priority message from Earth's Security Council. She read it quickly, her expression hardening. They've made their choice, she announced to the command staff. Earth will not surrender its sovereignty. All forces are ordered to resist the occupation by any means necessary. Admiral, Rodriguez called out, his voice tense. Confederation ships are powering up weapons. They're demanding immediate surrender of all Earth military vessels. Chen looked at Wong. Is everything in place? He nodded. All modified ships are ready. Quantum arrays are charged and synchronized. We can execute Operation Blink on your command. Send the coded signal to all fleet commanders, Chen ordered. Tell them to hold position and await the final authorization. And get me a direct channel to High Commander Zixtal. Her eyes narrowed as she watched more Confederation ships appear on the tactical display. If they want to play their last card, it's time we showed them ours. Operation Blink. High Commander Zixtal's holographic form materialized in Earth's command center, towering over the assembled staff. Admiral Chen, I trust you're monitoring the situation. Your ambassador's misguided defiance has forced our hand. Surrender your fleet now, and we can avoid unnecessary bloodshed. Admiral Chen stood calmly before the alien commander, her hands clasped behind her back. Before you take any irreversible action, Commander, I suggest you listen carefully to what I'm about to say. The time for dialogue is past. Zixtal interrupted. Your ships are surrounded. Your colonies are blockaded. You have no viable options. That's where you're wrong, Chen replied, allowing herself a small smile. You see, while you've been busy patronizing us and treating us like children, we've been learning. But not just what you wanted to teach us. We've been learning how to think differently. The crystalline being's form flickered with what might have been amusement. Different thinking will not save you from superior firepower, Admiral. Our fleet outnumbers yours 10 to 1. Numbers, Dr. Wong spoke up from beside Chen, are about to become very relative. Chen nodded to Lieutenant Rodriguez. Execute Operation Blink. All ships, activate quantum arrays on my mark. She looked directly at Zixtal's holographic form. Watch carefully, Commander. You're about to see what happens when you back humans into a corner. What nonsense is this? Zixtal demanded. Your ships haven't even powered up their engines. They're just sitting there, waiting to be. Mark. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, in perfect synchronization, every human ship vanished. Not with the familiar distortion of hyperspace engines or the flash of conventional FTL drives. They simply ceased to exist in one location and appeared in another. The bridge of the Confederation flagship erupted in chaos as tactical officers reported the impossible. Human vessels were appearing simultaneously at multiple strategic points throughout the blockade formation. Ships that had been surrounded moments ago were now behind their would-be captors, weapons primed and ready. Impossible, Zixtal whispered, their crystalline form clouding with confusion. Our sensors detect no drive signatures, no hyperspace distortion. Of course not, Wong explained, unable to keep the pride from his voice. You can't detect what you don't know to look for. While you were watching us struggle with conventional FTL technology, we were developing something entirely different. Quantum tunneling on a massive scale. On screens throughout the command center, They watched as the carefully choreographed dance of Operation Blink continued. Human ships blinked in and out of existence, appearing at predetermined tactical positions faster than the Confederation fleet could respond. A group of cruisers would appear on one flank, fire a warning shot, and vanish before return fire could be targeted. A destroyer squadron would materialize behind a Confederation battle group, then disappear as the aliens turned to engage. "This is your only warning," Chen announced to the increasingly frustrated Confederation commander. "Remove your ships from Earth space and withdraw all demands for occupation. We won't ask twice. You dare threaten the Confederation?" Zixtal's form blazed with anger. "This is some trick, some illusion. Our technology is superior in every way." "Your technology follows the path you've been walking for millennia," Wong countered. "But humanity, we found our own path, one you never even thought to look for." To demonstrate his point, the largest human battleship, the ESS Prometheus, executed a series of rapid quantum jumps around the Confederation flagship. Each jump brought it closer, demonstrating precisely how vulnerable the alien vessel was to this new form of warfare. "By now," Chen continued, "your tactical officers have confirmed that our ships are appearing faster than your weapons can track. Your FTL interdiction fields are useless against quantum tunneling. And this is just our first generation of quantum ships." She paused, letting the implications sink in. "Imagine what will develop once we're not hiding it anymore." The command center fell silent as they waited for the Confederation's response. Around Earth and its colonies, hundreds of human ships hung in space, their quantum arrays humming with potential energy, ready to jump again at a moment's notice. Finally, Zixtal spoke, their voice carrying an emotion no human had ever heard from a Confederation official before: uncertainty. "The Security Council will need to reassess the situation. Perhaps we have been hasty in our judgments." "Perhaps," Chen agreed diplomatically. "We look forward to beginning new negotiations, as equals this time." As the Confederation fleet began a careful withdrawal, Wang turned to Chen. "They'll be back," he said quietly. "Once they've analyzed what happened here, they'll try to adapt." Chen nodded. "Of course they will. But they'll come back knowing something vital has changed." She watched as the last Confederation ships disappeared into hyperspace. "They'll come back knowing that humanity isn't just another young species to be patronized and controlled. They'll come back ready to talk, really talk, for the first time." New Dawn. 3 months after Operation Blink, the Galactic Confederation's central chamber looked very different. The towering crystalline architecture remained the same, but the atmosphere had shifted dramatically. Ambassador Diana Ross no longer walked its halls as a tolerated inferior, but as a representative of a force that had fundamentally changed the galaxy's power dynamics. "The humans have shared preliminary data on their quantum tunneling technology," a Marith scientist reported to the assembled council. The same feline representative who had once called for Earth's subjugation now spoke with barely concealed admiration. "Their approach is unprecedented. They didn't just improve existing FTL technology. They discovered an entirely new method of space travel." High Commander Zixtal's crystalline form had lost some of its former luster. "And you're certain they're sharing the genuine technology, not some carefully crafted deception?" "The principles are sound," the scientist confirmed. "We've already verified their basic theories. It's simply that no one in the Confederation ever thought to approach faster than light travel from this direction. We were all so focused on perfecting what we knew. While we looked down on them, they looked beyond," Ross added, her voice carrying easily through the chamber. "That's the difference you never understood about humans. We don't just adapt to limitations. We question why those limitations exist in the first place." Back on Earth, Admiral Chen stood in the newly constructed Quantum Command Center, watching real-time displays of human ships using their quantum drives openly for the first time. Cargo vessels blinked between Earth's colonies, establishing trade routes that would have taken weeks to travel using conventional FTL. Exploration ships probed deeper into uncharted space than ever before, secure in the knowledge they could quantum tunnel home at the first sign of danger. The Confederation's diplomatic course is in chaos, Dr. Wong reported, joining her at the display. Apparently, several other young species are demanding the same independence they once denied us. Our example has sparked something of a revolution in galactic politics. Chen smiled. And how are the technical exchanges going? Better than expected. Their scientists are brilliant. They just needed someone to show them it was possible to think outside their established frameworks. We're already seeing interesting hybrid applications of quantum theory and conventional FTL technology. The main screen showed a live feed from one of Earth's outer colonies, where human engineers worked alongside alien technicians, sharing knowledge that would benefit both civilizations. It was a far cry from the patronizing oversight the Confederation had once insisted upon. Administrator Chen, a young lieutenant, called out, "The Confederation Science Council has approved our proposal for a joint research facility on Mars. They're actually requesting that we lead the project." Times have certainly changed, Wong mused. Remember when they wouldn't even let us conduct basic research without supervision? Chen nodded, but her expression remained serious. Not everyone is happy with the new arrangement. Several of the elder species are struggling to accept the shift in power dynamics. We'll need to stay vigilant. Let them struggle, Wong replied. They're learning what we've known all along. True strength isn't about age or established power. It's about innovation, adaptation, and the courage to challenge accepted limitations. In the following weeks, humanity's influence continued to grow. The quantum tunneling technology had applications far beyond military use. It revolutionized commerce, exploration, and even cultural exchange throughout the galaxy. Species that had once looked down on Earth now sent their brightest minds to learn from human scientists. Ambassador Ross found herself in constant demand, negotiating new treaties and technological exchange agreements. During one particularly crucial session, she faced the Confederation's full assembly. "Earth does not seek dominance," she declared. "We never did. What we sought, what we still seek, is the freedom to develop our own potential and the opportunity to contribute to galactic civilization as equals." She paused, looking directly at High Commander Zixtal. "We were never your children to be guided. We were your peers, waiting to be recognized." The chamber, once filled with dismissive laughter at humanity's claims, now hummed with murmurs of agreement. The galaxy was changing, and humanity had been the catalyst. In her private office that evening, Admiral Chen reviewed reports from across human space. Colony ships were establishing new outposts at an unprecedented rate, protected by quantum-capable escorts. Research facilities were pushing the boundaries of what was possible, combining human innovation with alien expertise. Earth's influence was growing not through force or dominance, but through the very creativity and determination the Confederation had once dismissed. They thought they were containing a primitive species, she mused to Wong, who had joined her for their now traditional end-of-day discussion. Instead, they awakened a force for change across the galaxy. "And we're just getting started," Wong added with a smile. "The quantum tunneling breakthrough was just the beginning. Now that we're free to explore our own path." He gestured to a datapad showing preliminary research into entirely new fields of physics. "The galaxy hasn't seen anything yet." As night fell over Earth, its cities gleaming with a mixture of human and alien technology, ships blinked in and out of existence overhead. A constant reminder that humanity had not only found its place among the stars, but had reshaped the very nature of space travel. The species that had once been laughed at had become the species that changed everything, not through conquest or subjugation, but through the uniquely human traits of innovation, determination, and the unwavering refusal to accept arbitrary limitations.